What's up, guys? Jack here. Now, listen up. Jon Field, this man put absolute fear into factory racing programs. During a race start, if this man was behind you, you were sweating. He was one of the most aggressive, most daring first lap drivers you have ever seen. And the best part was he was doing it in a car that was slower on lap time than all of the cars in front of him. He would qualify at the back and drive to the front consistently in the first 2 laps of these races. And I put together a little compilation for you guys to enjoy the absolute madness of this driver, Jon Field. So go ahead and sit back, and if you enjoy the clips and want to watch more from those races, I will have the links in the description below. So sit back and enjoy and watch the chaos that is the greatest first lap driver in American Le Mans Series history.
Give it a go. Speaking of which, it is time to give it a go here in the 4th round. Green flag is out. We are underway, and it is Timo Bernhard. But look at the move by the Audi. One on the inside, one on the outside. It is, oh, they got them both up to the front, and Jon Field comes with them. That turbo engine in the Lola doing the job.
Werner to the inside. Biela gets wide, struggling for grip. Field right behind them. There's the Porsche that started on the pole, the yellow machine, now in 4th.
Unbelievable. The Audis have done it again. Werner goes to the front, and what a move there by Field. As Pirro got a little wide, Field was able to sneak through. So Jon Field once again on the start, just a missile.
Unbelievable. Jon Field never fails to impress. Look at the Penske's. They're way back, 5th and 7th. This is not the start they were looking for.
And of course, Biela is in that second of the Audi.
He's got the lead.
Oh, Jon Field is absolutely dynamite right now. And that loses it. Werner goes right back around. Cut thrust in the early going.
Look at Jon Field. He is on fire, Brian.
Just checked in with Lucas Lurie. He said they are starting on the hardest compound tire that they have because of the excessive heat today. He said it's going to take a couple of laps before we can get some grip, and that may be very well what you guys are seeing right now, Cal.
Well, the key is he also had to qualify on those tires. You're only allowed to change one of the 4 tires following qualifying, so that may be ominous for the P2 cars. The Audi are able to qualify so strong on hard rubber.
That Intersport team, guys, they had a lot of problems coming into the race weekend during the test session on Friday. They lost the clutch, had to do a lot of repair work on that car. They had a little bit of damage as well, but it looks like they got everything sorted for the race.
I'll tell you what, when Jon Field snaps the visor down and it goes green, the guy is just amazing in the opening laps. Now we'll see what happens. Boy, he is white whipped. Werner takes a look to the outside. Now that out, ooh, big wiggle by Werner on the brakes heading down into turn 1. That tells you he was feeling the pressure.
He was feeling the pressure. And what about the straightaway speed with the AER engine in the 37 car? Look at Field using all of the road. He is driving 10/10ths and above.
On board with Biela, watching what's unfolding in front of you. You think Frank Biela is going, what is going on here? And meanwhile, here comes the Lowe's Acura, the highest of the Acura cars, the highest of the P2 cars. Right there, the number 15 in the hands of Luis Diaz, who was on a really quick lap in qualifying. And
As we saw earlier, so he's trying to make his way through all the other cars. This is the lead.
Field into the lead. He has got around Werner. Jon Field, Intersport, has picked it up. The very, very exotic car is in the lead. Look at Biela taking a look at Werner as well. And right behind that trio of P1 cars, Diaz is lurking on board with Biela.
There's a hidden agenda for Frank Biela. We understand this may be his last ALMS race of the season for Audi. He's looking for a ride. He'll be at Le Mans. We don't expect to see him again. He wants to prove to management, I've still got what it takes. He's trying to hound that 2 car and get the P1 lead.
And Jon Field is driving away. He is holding up nobody. Biela now takes a look to the inside of Werner. Not going to happen there, and obviously not going to risk anything, so he just tucks back in behind. But it is Field opening the margin up. Then the 2 Audis, then a gap to Diaz, then the first of the Penske cars, 5th overall. Timo Bernhard has got to be blinking his eyes, wondering what has happened. There's been a big change in the 4th.
There has, but the key with Timo is he's a big picture player. He can look and see. Do not panic. There's only one P2 car ahead of me. Yes, I started from the point. He's no longer there. But Jon Field, whatever restrictor was in the AER, I think the mechanics forgot to put it in this morning, because he is flying.
Just incredible, these opening laps. There you see Field, the first car. That's the transition section, where it's now very fast through the part of the track they call witchcraft and up into the attitude.
these cars.
It's been sprinkling in the last half hour, so it's not right this minute, but you're right, Brian. This is a very committed racetrack. You really have to know how much grip you're going to have.
And looking at that front row, we understand the 66 car of DeFerrin has a slightly softer tire compound. They rolled the dice yesterday in qualifying. It should be good in these conditions.
Lined up nice and tight onto the front straightaway. The green flag's going to fly, and Jon Field from the second row already on it as DeFerrin around the outside of turn 1, or were the tires just too cold to turn in?
Wow, that was close to disaster there as DeFerrin was scrambling for grip, but Jon Field up to second, passes sharp there through turn 2.
And Jon Field has got a car capable of running 20 miles per hour faster than any car in this field. That's the 37 that's in second place. When he gets to the long straightaway, look out, boys.
Look at the Dyson cars. They're really racy there, and right behind them you see Diaz in the Los Fernandez car.
Certainly the 37 of Jon Field with that great top speed, as you talked about, Dorsey, maybe 20 miles an hour faster in a straight line. He's about to let it all hang out as they come back on to the Mario Andretti straight.
Watch the car in second place overall. That is the car we're talking about. Jon Field, that car has got huge top end, 191 miles per hour.
Here he comes. He talked about it this morning. He wants that lead early. Can DeFerrin defend? He goes to the outside. Field takes the lead.
See ya. But now look at the grip on that Acura P1 car. All 4 tires the same size, flashes around the outside and holds on to the lead. But behind him, Scott Sharp has his hands full of Mazda-powered Lolas.
Well, they went with the medium.
And the field coming up. We are ready to go green here at Road America. Round 7 is underway.
And as you'd expect, look at those Audis with that TDI power. Pirro again getting a phenomenal start. He jinks to the outside. Lucas Luhr holds it on the inside, takes the lead.
And look at the move down to the 3rd overall spot, the P2 lead right off the bat. That is the Lowe's machine of Diaz. Just a great launch. They have been impressive, but Jon Field doing what Jon Field does in the early going, making a run up through the pack. He picks up 4th overall.
What a run by Jon Field. Qualified 8, just like Salt Lake City. He wants to see the lead today.
Calvin, some of the fastest trap speeds all weekend long have not been the Audis, they've been Jon Field. You mentioned it, Salt Lake City all over again. He said he's going to the front, and he is right now.
And in big defensive mode, once they get down to turn 5, little wiggle there, but now the Lowe's Acura looking up the inside. We'll have to see whether Field can cover. We hop on board with Saab.
You can see that Sasha was not committed through that corner. The speeds will increase as they get some laps under their belt here.
The 2 Audis breaking away, but Jon Field did hang on under the attack up into turn 6. Now through the carousel here, and out of the carousel, the exit speed's huge, and then that run, as you pointed out, down into turn 12, Canada corner. This is fast, and that car should just draw away. The AER power plant in that car, they've struggled a little bit with some turbo issues, but when I talked to John earlier, he said it's been running well. We think we're in good shape.
Well, he was licking his lips coming to here, and other circuits on the schedule coming up. Motorsport, certainly when we get to Petit at Road America, that's where that car should excel. On board here with Diaz through 13, very difficult racetrack. Then you're going to come up, this is where the new tunnel is. There's a little bump in the road there just before they hit the brakes. And the final turn, look at that long stretch. And this is where that P1 car in front of him should stretch his legs and go away.
A very nice start, very nice and smooth. That guy will probably get out of your way here pretty soon.
They're talking to Luis Diaz about Field. They expect him to fade a little bit. The Dunlops have been very quick in the early laps, but they tend to go away a little bit and not hold the consistency of maybe the Michelins on Diaz's car.
They were on the cars already on the front straightaway, that big hill to climb, looking for the green Acura P1 cars on the front row. Pagano behind the wheel of the 66. They're clawing their way up in the championship. Dorsey, the green flag waves. We're racing at Road America.
And Scott Sharp just moved right behind Pagano. He just didn't contest whatever. But watch the black car coming up the middle. That's Jon Field, and he's got a lot of top speed with that car.
Jon Field in the Lola AER, that black and orange number 37, had run at the top of the charts throughout the weekend until an engine problem set them back in qualifying. But you said it, Dorsey, that 4-liter with the twin turbos, it is going to run strong down these long straightaways at Road America.
Watch it here, man. It's like hitting nitrous. Goodbye. Here I go. John can run this car to the front. It's going to be hard to beat.
Now, as you see, Pagano holding down the lead, followed by Scott Sharp, and look at Jon Field already up to 3rd.
Watch Jon Field when he gets this straightaway. This car has awesome top speed, 190 plus mile per hour out of this car. He's got everybody about 10 miles an hour at least. Watch it right here.
And Jon Field obviously not afraid to stand on the gas either. A former champion in the 675 class. John knows how to get it done, but this is a small team, small budget, run by the family, and to be up there doing battle right now with these 2 factory supported Acuras that run ahead of him. You got to really take your hats off to that
Oh,
team.
he's off the
he's
road.
off.
Oh, that's not good. He's lost some of his aerodynamic bits there.
Told you he wasn't afraid to go fast.
You know what? He had lost an engine right before qualifying. He chose to go out in qualifying and ruin the motor, essentially. He got his lap in, but had to start back in 5th place.
Well, these cars, very aero sensitive. That off, remove part of the under tray.
Oh, look at shake.
Yeah.
He's got big problems now, Brian. That shake will destroy the car if he doesn't fix it. It looks like
race, driving with Alan McNish and company. The green is out. James Weaver leads them across, and the battle is joined immediately 3 wide as they head for 1. Jack Baldwin drops back from the front row to the 4th position as Jon Field in that red and blue Lola Judd and the number 12 Reese Ferrari take over 2nd and 3rd behind James Weaver.
And there's trouble there, just going down from the leaders.
Jon Field has taken over in the number 37 Intersport Lola. James Weaver now running 2nd in the blue and white Riley and Scott Ford. And 3rd is the Ferrari.
Now the Riley and Scott here, the Ford engine car. Look at the way it's absolutely eating up that Judd V10 power down the back straight into the chicane for the very first time. But he's not giving up. Jon Field hung right in there, whistling through that chicane.
Outbraked him on the inside. Now they head up onto the east banking. This used to be taken flat out from the backstretch. The chicane put in the 80s to slow things down. The banking is now flat out, top speed about 190 without a drag.
Back to the early days of this race, the first lap was run on the NASCAR Tri-Oval. They didn't dip down to the infield until lap 2. They come across the line to complete the lap, and it is Jon Field over James Weaver.
And it'll probably be done in less than 9 hours, but we're about to find out because the green flag's about to fly. Oh, and you saw Genet get a little loose as he comes down the hill to the front straightaway. The green flag waves. Here we go. McNish already on the charge.
Look at Jon Field. He's looking for a way by one of these diesels. He gets it. Side by side up through turn 1. Hairy stuff. Jon Field, the man on cold tires.
McNish looking on the 08, trying to find a way around Montigny. Jon Field, he's got the black and orange. He's gotten him. The black and orange 37. McNish has gotten past Montigny. Field up to 3rd in the black and orange Lola, the number 37.
What a move by Alan McNish. These diesel cars, Dorsey, are really twitchy on cold tires, but McNish totally committed.
And you see him right now swerving back and forth. He wants to get by Jon Field. Jon's car will be very fast up this straightaway.
This is Fessler here in the 2nd of the Audis. Remember, he ran for Corvette last year before being drafted in to Audi on a full-time basis.
Now we know that the 37, the Intersport entry, very, very fast with the twin-turbo AER power plant in the back of the Lola. Jon Field saying, hey, James Weaver came down and helped us the other day. This car is magic. It feels like it's got an extra 200 horsepower because he's helped us really settle it down.
Saw Montigny there weaving around on the straightaway, just trying to generate some tire temp. Maybe he went wide there with McNish. May have got a little bit of pickup on those tires, Dorsey. Just trying to get those tires in good shape for the next corners.
You want your tire pressures right through here. Turn 12 completely flat out. The car sucks all the way down to the ground.